While Serena Williams was busy winning her Wimbledon quarterfinal match against Alison Riske today, Harper Bazaar published an article that is from the magazine's August 2019 issue in which she'll cover. The article talked about Serena's account of last year's US Open final, first talking about her experience winning her maiden Grand Slam title in Flushing Meadows 19 years ago, then moving forward 19 years later for Naomi's time to shine. Serena says, "Fast forward to September 2019, it's the final of the US Open and I'm competing to win my 24th Grand Slam against Naomi Osaka. It's the beginning of the second set, and the umpire thinks he spots my coach signaling me from the stands. He issues a violation, a warning. I approach him and emphatically state the truth that I wasn't looking at my coach. I don't cheat to win, I rather lose, I said. I walk back to the court and lose the next point. I smash my racket in frustration. He issues another violation and gives a point to my opponent. I feel passionately compelled to stand up for myself. I call him a thief. I again demand an apology. I tell him he is penalizing me for being a woman. He responds by issuing a third violation and takes a game from me. In the end, my opponent simply played better than me that day and ended up winning her first Grand Slam title. I could not have been happier for her. As for me, I felt defeated and disrespected by the sport I love, one that I had dedicated my life to and that my family truly changed, not because we were welcome, but because we couldn't stop winning." Talking about the aftermath of the final, Serena continued, "After the Open, I returned home to Florida. Every night as I would try to go to sleep, unresolved questions ran through my mind in a never-ending loop. How can you take a game away from me in the final of a Grand Slam? Really, how can you take a game away from anyone at that stage of any tournament? I turned over, exhausted from lack of sleep, thoughts still spinning in my head. Why can't I express my frustrations like everyone else? If I were a man, would I be in this situation? What makes me so different? Is it because I'm a woman? I stop myself to avoid getting worked up. I tell myself, you've been through so much, you've endured so much. Time will allow me to heal, and soon this will be just another memory that made me the strong woman, athlete, and mother I am today. But this was different. I was hurt, cut deeply. I tried to compare it to the other setbacks I'd had in my life and career, and for some reason, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was about so much more than just me. I thought back to my first Grand Slam. It's the one you remember best. It's supposed to be the most special. This debacle ruined something that should have been amazing and historic. Not only was a game taken away from me, but a defining, triumphant moment was taken away from another player, something she should remember as one of the happiest moments in her long and successful career. My heart broke. I started to think again. What could I have done better? Was I wrong to stand up? Why is it that when women get passionate, they're labeled emotional, crazy, and irrational, but when men do, they're seen as passionate and strong? So often, in situations similar to mine, when men fight back against the referees, they're met with a smile or even a laugh from the umpire, as if they're sharing an inside joke. I'm not asking to avoid being penalized. I'm asking to be treated the same way as everyone else. Sadly, that's simply not the world we currently live in. Days passed and I still couldn't find peace. I started seeing a therapist. I was searching for answers, and although I felt like I was making progress, I still wasn't ready to pick up a racket. Many believe that Serena owed Naomi an apology for all that went down, and she did in fact do this, telling her, "Hey Naomi, it's Serena Williams. As I said on the court, I am so proud of you and I am truly sorry. I thought I was doing the right thing and sticking up for myself, but I had no idea the media would pit us against each other. I would love the chance to live that moment over again. I am, was, and will always be happy for you and supportive of you. I would never, ever want the light to shine away from another female, specifically another black female athlete. I can't wait for your future, and believe me, I will always be watching as a big fan. I wish you only success today and in the future. Once again, I am so proud of you. All my love, and your fan, Serena." Naomi then responded back, telling Serena, "People can misunderstand anger for strength because they can't differentiate between the two. No one has stood up for themselves the way you have, and you need to continue trailblazing." Serena reflected back on the letter, writing, "It was in this moment that I realized the real reason the US Open was so hard for me to get over. It wasn't because of the backlash I faced, but rather because of what happened to the young woman who deserved so much more in her special moment. I had felt that it was my fault and that I should have kept my mouth closed, but now seeing her text put everything in perspective. I realized she was right. Williams goes on to say that it took her a long time to pick up a racket again after the finals, but finds peace in hoping that she will help other girls in the future to use their voices. She closes out the article saying her daughter Olympia is why she uses her voice and is the reason she picks up her racket again. So when I first read the headlines of the article, I was happy because I was glad Serena apologized to Naomi after the finals, and I still am. However, I have to say that I'm not as happy with the article itself. I felt that Serena was definitely wrong for the incident, but believe that it shouldn't have been a major thing in the media. Playing a Grand Slam final and trying to win that elusive 24th Grand Slam title, I'm sure added a lot of tension to Serena, which is why everything conspired. However, I thought that she would eventually come around and apologize to the Empire, Carlos Ramos, because the whole thing didn't need to escalate the way it did. Serena's problem with what happened is that she believes Ramos did what he did because she's a woman, but I find that hard to believe. After the match, she told the press that getting a game penalty for calling him a thief was a sexist remark, which is a bit too extreme. I get the point that men can say a lot of things and not get away with it, but Ramos is already a notorious stickler for things of this nature. Yes, he could have given her a warning, but just wasn't having it that day. Instead of being angry at the ref for sexism, I feel like the outrage should have been directed to the general public, as they're the ones making things an even bigger deal for Serena by not holding other players to the same standard. So to close this out, I agree with Serena on some aspects of the situation, and I'm glad she apologized to Naomi, but I believe the true healing will happen for her when she decides to write a letter to Carlos Ramos. Do you agree with what Serena said? Or are you like me and think that she should redirect her focus and claims of sexism from the Empire to media sites with varying inconsistencies such as the Herald Sun? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below and make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post new content. Thanks for watching, and we hope you return to us here at Grand Slam Tennis News today.